Good morning, guys, or afternoon, or evening, whenever you're watching this. Welcome back to St. Mojo Homestead. So glad that you guys are with us. We are doing something a little different today. We're going to be taking a little field trip to talk to one of our friends. Cass is outside milking goats right now, which actually has a little bit to do with what we're going to be talking about this weekend. So I am making her coffee, getting my coffee ready. We're going to go ahead and knock out our morning chores real quick and head on over to Willowbrook Homestead with Jesse. Today, we thought they would be good to kind of talk about goats, but not just goats, but to talk about why goats may not be right for you. So, let's get going.
Welcome back to St. Mojo Homestead. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
We are here with Jesse Bickley from Willowbrook Homestead, and we are going to chat about goats a little bit. And why goats might not be right for you, right? If you follow us, they're right for you.
They were right for me at one point. And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your goats that you had?
So, had is the biggest thing. So I no longer have my goats. When we first started homesteading and I ran into y'all, I did as much research as possible on goats, and we chose the Nigerian dwarf goats, mainly because of the milk. Sweet milk. We went out to the Goat Days farm, and I did as much asking and research as possible, which is a big thing that you should do, because I learned a lot, and then having friends that also have goats helped. But the fact is that we got them because we wanted milk. We wanted to do the self-sustainability type stuff that most new homesteaders want to do. And we really kind of jumped in there. That was maybe one of my biggest mistakes, not with the goats, but just in general. But when we got the goats, we're going to milk them. And so we brought them in. Raised them from babies. The lady we got them from, she was super awesome. We basically went, like, before they were of age to leave, the mamas, every weekend we were in there spending time with them. So they're very used to us. So they're very good, happy goats. So we brought them here and we raised them up. At this time, Jess and Jeremiah, Roots and Refuge, they moved here, and then we started getting raw milk and stuff like that. And there really wasn't a point in us having the goats anymore. We did breed them before they were too old, because we wanted, like, if we were going to keep them, we just breed them and make money. It was any kind of way to keep them, other than the milk part. So when that happened, we were kind of like, all right, we had the babies, we sold all the babies. Now we had these two goats that we don't necessarily have a plan for. Because we went for a very specific registered breed, purebred, stuff like that. We spent a good bit of money on them, and so that made it harder for us to be like, all right, we'll just get rid of them. So we tried to figure out as much as we could. But then we ultimately decided that, like, we want them to have more property to roam on. We have a good yard for them. It just really started getting very sandy and just worn down from the chickens being on it and them. So I tried putting some electric fencing to kind of block off the spot, give them some more, stuff to eat and kind of roam around. But it was just kind of causing me more stuff to do. So I was going to add more fence. I was going to go to the woods. I had all these plans. Planning and changing plans is a huge homestead thing, especially for me. If you know me, you'll know that, like, I have a plan, and then my plan will just it'll completely change.
Different plan.
So raising chickens has been, like, the consistent plan, and I have done it has stayed consistent with raising of the chickens.
Well, it's the gateway animal for homesteading, so it's like a necessity.
Well, even the meat chickens, it has been like, just start with chickens. Of course. But we got rid of the goats. We sold them to some really good people who had a lot, had a bigger herd, a lot more places for them to roam. They are living up their lives. We still keep in contact with them because we had a very good, big attachment to them. I mean, they were great. We were there when they, kidded and stuff. It was amazing. So it's just, like I said, the plans changed. So we had to change what we were going to do. Now we're moving into looking at sheep. Because I can move them around in electric fencing on the grass, and they more self-sustainable on grass than a goat is.
Yeah.
Because I did think about putting the goats in electric netting. goats are so hard-headed that it works for a little bit as long as they touch it with their nose first, but once they put their hooves on it and put it to the ground, it no longer works, and they decide that this is not going to stop me.
Right.
And then they try to go find anything they can eat that will kill them.
Right.
So hard fencing for goats is a necessity.
Yes.
Like if you can rotate pasture with hard fence, do it.
Yeah.
And speaking of fence, when we first moved onto this property, I know how to do fence, but the fence that I did is that welded wire 2x4 stuff, and we also put it on the outside of the posts. Whenever you do fencing for animals, you do the wire on the inside of the post, so if they push on it, it doesn't pull a nail. Just a little tidbit. Yeah. But you also don't want to use welded wire. It will break. The more they try to climb on it, it will bend. And so it was gonna, like I said, more work that I needed to do. And so when I put the fence up, that's not what it was for. Right. And instead of like ripping it all down, spending even more money, I made it work, and they didn't necessarily get out from that. Right. How they did get out was they actually opened the gate multiple times. So latch your locks, because even the ones where you lift up and slide over and lift back down, they'll open it. A lot. They want to get out. They don't want to stay
outside. Yes. Yeah. Every day we have to lock our milk house door. His Majesty will bite at the door until it opens. Yeah. And get in the milk house.
Yeah. So goats are great.
Yeah.
But just make sure that you know what you're wanting from your goats. Of course, there's multiple different breeds and stuff. We chose the Nigerian dwarf because of the milk. I know y'all mix the Nigerians and the mini Nubians because you get more milk.
Yes. And it's the same. It's the same butterfat content. So.
Yeah. And you're also making your soaps and stuff now, which I cannot wait to try. I already kind of told Jeremy, I was like, listen, whenever that shave bar gets ready, you let me know.
I have some samples of the shave bar. I'll hook you up with one. I should have brought one today.
Yeah. So, doing stuff like that is great, because we didn't have plans to do that. Yeah. We didn't have any kind of plans to. We started a homestead not to supplement income or anything like that. We did it to basically supplement what we were eating, right, and grow our own animals. Yeah. Now, guess what happened? That plan changed. So really? I am looking to do more stuff to supplement some income, because I would love to be here full time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But making soap is still that's not for me. Yeah. Butchering chickens and maybe selling some meat. Yeah. That's for me. Yeah. That's what I like to do. Yeah. Which I'm doing now. Got a deer up at the skinning rack, or in my meat shed now that I'm processing.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That's where I would love to go. I would love to get us to the point where we're getting, we're able to hunt and do a little bit more of that, because that's our limitation as far as homesteading.
First step to hunting is your husband.
Your job is
your husband has to get his license and come see Jesse to go hunting.
Yes. So first step.
I can only send him so many pictures of deer in my backyard and say, when you coming?
I know, right?
I will say that I didn't even tell you this. I saw the most deer I've ever seen in our backwoods this past week. There were like 8 to 10 does that were just kind of like grazing through. And then I went back there later that day, and there was one doe by herself, like watched me walk. I'm like, I could like draw a gun on her right now and shoot her, and she wouldn't even run.
Yeah. And you were just given a gun. I think it's like the Lord's showing you the next path.
Just change my name in your phone to the Lord is speaking to me, and I'll send you deer pictures. Okay?
Well, if someone is questioning or kind of on the fence about getting goats or not getting goats, what advice would you give them?
On the fence. Well, definitely the fence is the main thing. Just do your research. Make sure, really sit down. I'm not going to say make a plan, because like I said, plans change. But like, you need to have an understanding of like, if your plan changes, say like if you want them for milk and that changes, what are you going to do then? Right. Have a contingency plan on like, okay, I'm going to spend this much money on the goats because I want to milk them. So I'm going to build a stanchion. I'm going to do all this stuff. But then it's like, well, that's not really going to work out. Right. Like, because there's times where you spend money on a goat and they might not even kid. Right. You have multiple things that could affect like what you want to do. So just make sure that that's something that you want to do. Goats are great. Spend as much time with them as possible. That's the biggest thing, is don't let them be scared of you. That's gonna make it so much harder, because if they do get out, they're gonna run from you, even if they do love you, they're still gonna run from you. But it makes it easier for when you grab that bucket of feed and they're like, okay, I will follow you, instead of just being like, oh, no, I'm good.
Right.
Take off and stuff.
Right. Well, one thing Jesse said he did that we actually did as well is he went to Goat Daddy's farm, and we went there before we got our goats, and we sampled their milk. And I would say that is really important. Yeah. There are some people you don't really love goat's milk.
Not
correct?
a big fan of goat's milk, and the only reason is, it is delicious. Yes. But growing up, I literally grew up with goats and a Billy goats like to fragrant themselves, and to me, goat milk and cheese both have that very similar smell taste.
Association.
Yeah. So it's just not something I'm like, man, let me just chug this down and think about Sporty all day long.
That's so funny. And you do have to try it, because I personally don't taste anything different, but I didn't grow up with goats. Yeah. And so I didn't have that association, growing up. So.
And when it comes to trying it, make sure I would definitely recommend, if you can find someone who does it, try their milk.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Getting it from the store, it's so many different factors that go into it, and it's just better to try the good raw milk.
And I would say, whatever goat you're trying to buy, try that type of milk, because they all taste different. So.
And definitely size matters too. I mean, if you've got the property and you can get the bigger Nubians, get them. I mean, if you're wanting to do milk, because they're going to produce a gallon or more or so.
About a half a gallon a day.
Yeah. So I mean, you're going to be getting more in a bigger goat.
Yes.
If you have smaller area, look at the Nigerian dwarfs. Yeah. But they'd also have smaller teeth, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Right. Then you have to look into a machine possibly.
Yeah. I mean, I would always recommend at this point moving forward a mini Nubia. If you're wanting to do cheese, yogurt, all those things, you really need to have some Nubians or mini Nubians in your herd. So, what's your high and low?
My high is that I'm processing a deer right now, and I'm going to do that pork, that sausage.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be good no matter what.
Yeah.
My low, I don't know. It's been a good week.
That's good.
I feel like my low is like, it's going to be 55 degrees tonight.
Okay, so we do highs and lows on our Facebook channel, and this guy loves jumping on there, telling us the high temperature for the week and the low temperature for the week. So, some people you just can't handle.
So thanks for letting us come out and interview about your goat fail. I wouldn't call it a fail.
No, different.
Your goat experiment.
They lived. They birthed. They kidded. They all lived. Now they're all living great lives somewhere else.
Your goat experience.
Yeah, experiment. That's good.
Yeah. That's homesteading, though, right? It's like you have to try something out.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Figure out if it works.
Make a plan. Expect the plan to fail. Throw away the plan.
It's great advice.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps you out with deciding on whether goats are right for you or not.
Yeah.
I mean, again, personally, we think goats are right for everybody,
right.
But reality is that's not necessarily the case.
No.
And I think Jesse gave you like a lot of good pointers on just what to expect and what you need to have in place and be prepared for before you really get into it. So, yeah.
Highs and lows?
Highs and lows. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You want to go first?
Sure. So my high was that we had some people over last night that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It was great catching up with them. That was fun having them over and just catching up. My low is probably that I didn't really get to make as many soaps this week. I'm out of some supplies. So it's just been something that I really enjoyed experimenting with, playing around with the, different colors and techniques and everything. So I wasn't able to do that as much this week.
But gearing it back up this week?
Hopefully. Yeah.
I think my high this week was probably Josiah's home run.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
He hit his first home run in a game, and he was so excited. So excited. I mean, he was like laughing, rounding third, and going home. So that was a proud dad moment. But he did really good with that game. Was very proud of himself.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
It's awesome.
So my low would be I guess I'm gonna have to steal Jesse's and say nothing because it really was a good week.
Yeah.
Weather's been great, beautiful here in South
has
Carolina. So it has been really, really nice.
If you have any questions or any comments about your goat experience, we'd love for you to leave that below.
Yeah, we actually are probably going to be putting up another goat video soon because we're talking about just like how we're preparing for our next goat birth.
Yeah.
Getting so close,
90
so close,
days
guys.
there almost, yeah. But that's all we have for you guys this week. As always, have a great week and be blessed.